It's a gorgeous day in the great Northwest. The Seattle University is getting set to do battle with the UConn Huskies on the NSCAA TV Game of the Week. Welcome to Championship Field. Mark Serber alongside Keith Tabasnik. And Keith, Seattle has had a meteoric rise, and today they're taking on an established power that this season has had trouble asserting themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Seattle, this would be one of the biggest teams that they've ever hosted here, especially since they've been in Division I for these 3 years. But they come off a really big win against University of Pennsylvania Friday night, 2-0 here, convincing win. UConn, on the other hand, as you said, they're struggling. They're 1-3. Right? Not a usual start for the UConn Huskies, but Ray Reed's team, he feels they're quite good. They did have a bad loss at University of Washington, one of the best teams in the country. We're going to see if they can bounce back today, Mark.
Well, if UConn is going to have a good game today, they're going to have to shut down Ian Hines-Ike. He is the defensive midfielder, but he's really more of a deep line playmaker than that holder that sits in front of that back four for Seattle.
Yeah, see, I like this player, Hines-Ike. He's a player, he sits in front of the back four, but he's the guy that starts the attack. A left-footed player, you watch the balls that he plays. He can play it short and keep possession, but he can also open up the opposing team with these long balls. He can hit these 60, 70-yard balls on a rope with his left foot. Also at free kicks, watch out for him.
And on the other side, Kyle Laren has scored 4 goals in 4 games, all of them inside the first 8 minutes. Not a bad return from your forward.
No, not at all. In fact, Laren is one of the top strikers in the country. And by the way, when you talk about UConn, you're talking about a long line of great strikers, and he's fitting right in there. A powerful player. He can get by you on the run. He can get by you with the dribble, scores in a lot of different ways, and he's an exciting one to watch. And really, he's going to carry UConn this whole year. As he goes, so will they.
Well, earlier today, we got a chance to catch up with both coaches to get their thoughts on today's game.
Well, I think defensively we have to make sure that we're at a shutout at halftime. You know, we don't want to give them an opportunity to get an edge. So I think defensively we have to be sharp. We've got to stay compact. They're a physical team. Inside our box, we've got to win the first ball and the second ball and the third ball. On the offensive side, our wings are effective. They've scored all our goals this season, so we have to make sure that we use the flanks as much as possible. Once we get the ball wide, we've got to make sure we get through the box as well, get on the end of those crosses.
Yeah, we just got to be good defensively. You know, we've played pretty well in our first 4 matches. A little bit of bad luck. We're a little bit young. We continue to be building on what we've been doing. Some of our young guys have been playing very well for us, and you know, we perfectly scheduled 5 road games here, 5 games, a road trip to get used to each other. So it's been fairly successful. We just need to be a little more consistent today on the attack end.
Continental Tire is the presenting sponsor of college soccer broadcast on NSCAATV.com. And welcome back to Championship Field in Seattle as we take a look at the starting lineup and a 4-1-4-1 for head coach Pete Fewing.
Yeah, they attack quite a bit from the outsides, not just the wide midfielders, but the wide backs as well. But as we said before, watch Hines-Ike, number 11 in the center. He kind of holds that team together. Baloo, number 12, the left side, is an exciting player, scores a lot of goals. And in fact, most of the goals come from the wide spots.
And for the UConn Huskies, they're going to come out in a 4-2-3-1, and they're all about fast starts. Laren, as we've alluded to, 4 goals in the first 4 games, all of them inside the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, in fact, and usually they have a very good attacking team, but again, last year they were known for the defense by down the stretch, and they have a new goalkeeper with Wagmeister, and they've given up 8 goals already. It's very unusual for UConn. They feel good about their team, but really watch, you got Laren up there, and Bezo, I think, is one of the best players in the country at keeping possession as well.
So 2 teams getting ready, as this is a Seattle team that will be attacking from right to left across your screen. They are in their all-white kits with red numbers and red lettering, and UConn will be attacking from left to right as they are in their away blue with red trim. Referee Ben Oakley just getting set. One more check of the watch from the referee. And soccer is alive and well in Seattle. From the Sounders to Seattle University to the University of Washington, this is the place to be, Keith.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful day to be here as well as Seattle welcomes in the UConn Huskies. They did not have as much success the other night against the Washington Huskies, and UConn losing 3-1 to Washington the other night, and Seattle, of course, winning 2-0 against University of Pennsylvania, their second game in 3 days.
And so far, low pressure being applied. Now they come up around the midfield, Seattle University. It'll be a throw-in for the UConn Huskies on the far side. Quick little touch off from Vanacore Decker, but he's dispossessed. It's a chance to go down the other side. Michael Roberts is chasing. Oh, and Roberts almost got there, but he's going to be whistled for a foul. Roberts getting his first start after 4 games off the bench in place of Hamza Haddadi.
Yeah, well, Haddadi has played all right for Seattle, but I don't think he's put a stamp on having that as his starting spot, so this is the chance for Roberts to try to make a name for himself and break into the lineup. Similar type of players, however, so I think both of them target players who hold the ball up to bring the rest of the team into the play.
Once again, Connecticut looking to build down that left-hand side. Running out of real estate. Quick throw, looking for the target man. Now he needs players to join him. White jerseys pouring forward. Good work on the far side by Rose. Langston's prowling on this near side if they can get the ball all the way over to him. But UConn doing well to defend. Rohani turning away from traffic. And will use his safety valves in the center back.
I'm not sure. You like to get that deep into the attacking third and have to come all the way back around, but UConn did get a lot of numbers behind the ball, forcing that play back.
Rolled on, the freshman. Langston venturing forward from his outside back position, and that's what Pete Fewing wants. He wants his outside backs to get forward, but Keith, the final ball needs to be better.
Yeah, it needs to be better, and actually, Langston's got a very good left foot. He let that one get away from him, but you're going to see him getting in those positions and putting crosses in whenever he can.
And here comes Laren. Quickly off his line is Hayworth.
And I think you're going to see there an example of what Seattle's defense is going to have to deal with all day because of Laren. He's just such a powerful player. I mean, he's a good soccer player as well, but you just have a look at him. His size is just so difficult to match up with. And, the defense for Seattle, John Mao's a big guy, physically can match up with it. Bjornathan, the number 6, they're just playing the ball off, is going to have to be in good position as well. They're going to really have to be the 2-versus-1 on Laren.
As this ball will go all the way through to Jacob Wagmeister. 1 shutout on the season for the redshirt junior out of the New York Red Bulls Academy.
Well, Wagmeister with quite big shoes to fill. Andrew Blake, the fantastic goalkeeper for UConn, who left early and became the first goalkeeper ever to be the #1 draft pick in the MLS by the Philadelphia Union. And to me, was arguably the best goalkeeper in college soccer for 2 or 3 years, maybe even all 3 years of his career. Wagmeister, solid player, but obviously untested.
One back in the midfield by Ballou. Captain looking for options. This is Rose who's cut inside. Rose invited to have a go, and it wasn't far off. Wagmeister might have had that covered, but UConn can't afford him that kind of space.
No, and in fact, he got the space coming in from the right midfield spot, and that'll happen a lot. Rose coming in, and Josh Green, the right back, getting forward. And so we have another look at this, and the play coming in, and Rose, no one's stepping to him as well there. And UConn plays with 2 defensive midfielders, and Wau and Coley, and both of them though new in that position, not just for UConn, but also for themselves. It's not their natural position. They're both kind of learning that.
Well, you said that earlier when you talked to assistant coach John Daly. He didn't seem at all concerned about UConn's start to the season because players are learning new positions and because 3 of their first 5 games are against ranked teams.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously would like to get some more results than they've had, but I think he feels that the players are coming on in the way that they want them to. And Coach Ray Reid, addressed that, as well. And they've been on the road for all these games, and it's going to be something that's going to bring the team together as well.
And this is Besso trying to chip the keeper. And Hayworth was off his line. Smart work from Besso.
Yeah, well, Besso, as I said, he's one of the best possession players. He doesn't score very much at all, actually. And I've done quite a number of games with UConn, and I can't say I've seen him shoot more than 1 or 2 times, but not a bad idea at all.
Well, it was very cheeky. Besso from Spain out of the Villarreal Youth Academy. Villarreal, I believe it was 2006, went all the way to the semifinals of the UEFA Champions League. Real pedigree there.
Yeah, no, it's any one of those teams over there that are playing in La Liga. It's a good one to be brought up in. And Besso came over. He had an adjustment, to college soccer, and especially although he's just got that ball back, you won't see him in that part of the field too often. He's not a big time two-way player.
Besso trying to weave his way out of traffic. And he's going to get it out wide to Ackroyd. Ackroyd out of England. Played for Nottingham Forest Youth Academy and led them to the semifinals of the FA Youth Cup last year. And that's a huge achievement because I believe you get to play in Wembley once you've made it to that level. But here's a chance as Langston takes the space and trying to go for the back post, or was that a shot or a cross, Keith?
Well, that was a cross that, maybe he's going to hope gets credit as a shot, just because it went to the keeper. But it's 2 in a row for him. And the other night against UPenn, I thought he put in 2 or 3 very dangerous crosses, but he's certainly not whipping them around. There's no curve on him, and gets open. Those crosses like that, I think UConn will let him stay open.
Rose wins the throw-in. Jeff Rose and Brady Ballou have 6 of Seattle's 7 goals this season, Keith. Both outside midfielders, very good on the wings, but also very strong cutting inside. Ballou has work to do, or Rose rather, has work to do in the corner, and he concedes a goal kick.
Yeah, well, again, this is one. It's one of the reasons that Coach Fewing plays with the 4-1-4-1, and really to get those wide players involved. We've already seen Rose with a shot. We've seen Lanston with 2 opportunities to cross the ball. And I think it's just the way that they are there. That's where they generate things, and those guys do get in on the end of crosses. And again, it's also why Roberts is starting right now to see if they can generate some attack from the center forward.
Vanacore Decker pushes it out wide. Zuniga cutting in, gets it onto that favored right foot, but nothing to trouble Hayworth in the end.
And Zuniga, junior from Connecticut, had 4 goals, 3 assists in 2013, and is a player that is his favorite move, what he just did, cutting inside to get off shots. And, he's gives them a lot. He's about 20-25-minute player right now for them per half. They need to get a little bit more, and then we see, again, watch Zuniga come in here and cut inside, on green and getting that shot, and not bad, just at the top of the 18.
There's Heinz Ike doing what he does so well, finding players' feet. And good work to keep possession in the midfield. Seattle University very calm despite the pressure that UConn's applying at times.
I think, any team that's going to have success, you have to be composed under pressure. And both these teams, they play against good teams. And this is obviously a huge test in terms of the reputation of the University of Connecticut coming in and playing here in Seattle right now. And UConn not off to a good start. Neither one of these teams were off to a good start last year, though, and they certainly turned it around.
Seattle University starting 0-6-1 last year before going 7-0-3 to win the Western Athletic Conference. UConn, on the other hand, like you said, not a good start either, but they then went on a 17-game unbeaten run. Nierwinski getting forward, working against Langston. Has him beaten for pace, into the box, and a chance is on, and it's swept home. The visitors have the lead with just 9 minutes on the clock.
And I tell you, Mark, that was something. It wasn't a ton of pressure that UConn had been putting on in the attack, but all of a sudden, that's their right back getting forward. Nierwinski, who started that whole thing off, getting the cross in.
It's Vanacore Decker with the finish.
And he's a guy that UConn needs to get involved in the attack more. And you'll see here, but this is all Nierwinski, really. He fights off Langston defensively and gets that ball right across, and that's an easy. It's a fairly easy tap in for Vanacore Decker. And Vanacore Decker is coming off a sports hernia injury last year. It's probably not. They don't feel he's at 100%. But scoring goals like that will certainly help you get back to it.
Good job by the full Jamaican international Sergio Campbell to usher that ball out of bounds. So it'll be a goal kick for the UConn Huskies, leading 1-0 against the Seattle Redhawks at Championship Field.
And they have gotten off to good starts in a lot of their games, but the challenge for Connecticut has been finishing out, not just the game, but actually finishing out the half. They went up 1-0 against University of Washington, and then we're down 2-1 at halftime.
Heinz Ike spent 2 years with the Chivas USA Reserves, playing in 8 reserve matches. Former U20 international Heinz Ike. Blue. Nice little touch from the captain. Looks to get it back. Good inner passing right down the throat of the UConn defense. However, the deflection took the sting out of the shot, and it's easy for Wagmeister in the end.
Yeah, that was Brady Ballou coming from his left midfield spot inside, and that is their starting spot out wide for him and for Rose. But as we've seen, both of them cutting inside to have shots on target.
And Keith, we have a milestone. First game where Kyle Laren has not scored inside the first 8 minutes, but UConn still have a 1-0 lead with just over 10 minutes played here at Championship Field, and they're looking for more. Yeah, good header away.
That's right, Mark. Kyle scored in the first 8 minutes of the 4 games, and he did not score, but he was a part of that. His back to the goal and kind of holding the defense off to bring that ball around to Vanacore Decker. He's not in there, and that doesn't get through. So he probably got credited with an assist on that too. I think he actually laid that off.
And an interesting dynamic here, Keith, because this is a UConn side that, despite being 1-3, has scored first in every single game, and they're playing against the Seattle squad that last year came back 5 times, including their first ever Division I tournament win against Creighton in Nebraska.
Yeah, Seattle's a good, solid team. Certainly, they're not going to get rattled by the fact that they got scored on, and they got scored on it. Well, they probably had the better of the first part of the game.
Isn't that how it always seems to go from a coach's point of view?
It's always did to me when we got scored on. I always thought we were having the better of the game, but I also thought we were having the better game when we scored.
Heinz Ike. It was neatly brought down in the midfield after a heavy pass from Heinz Ike. However, it falls to Laren. Had 14 goals last year, and he wins a free kick. Already has 4 this season. Mark Serber alongside Keith Tabasnik here on the NSCAA TV Game of the Week. And Keith, as the former Georgetown coach, you faced Ray Reid time after time after time. We're just about 13 minutes in here. Is this what you've expected to see from his Husky squad?
Actually, it's not usual. Usually with the Ray Reid team, you're going to be defending for, even if you're playing well, you're going to be defending 70%, 60-70% of the time. Is that UConn is a team that is just so well known for keeping the ball, and you have to be really focused defensively. So, this you would have called a UConn team that looks more of a counter-attacking team, getting their couple chances going fast forward. So I'm not sure it's what Coach Ray Reid wants, but he has no problem if they get up doing it this way.
Long searching ball looking for Ballou. Into the extreme of his penalty area is Wagmeister. Gave up no goals last year in 3 appearances with 2 starts and 2 shutouts as well.
Again, the name of the game for UConn last year was largely shutting teams out. Wait on this one.
That was an interesting decision on the header by Hainworth.
I think he thought maybe it would have been a pass back if he had grabbed the ball.
And now his defense still with some work to do. Nierwinski wants the foul, and he'll get it. So a free kick and a chance to swing this ball into the mix.
Yeah, handball there, and Alex Roldan. And we're talking about the defense of UConn last year. That was the name of the game for them. So well on the defense. We have another look. There's the goal again. Puts them up 1-0, and see if they can get another one in here. But this year they've given up 8 goals already, and I'm sure that's something in the back of Seattle's mind as well. Is that UConn is obviously vulnerable defensively this year. So even though they're down, they keep their focus because they're going to get their chances.
Vanacore Decker and Besso conspiring over this free kick. Now Besso leaves the vicinity, and Vanacore Decker swings it in. Easy for the Seattle defense, but only as far as Besso. And the former Villarreal man gets it back to Sergio Campbell. And this is the goal scorer. And he felt he was pushed. Blue wanted the handball, but instead the referee gives the free kick to UConn, quickly taken. And once again, the cross goes begging.
And that was Nowinski getting forward again, and that's a very typical with UConn. One of the things that they always do is they will try to play that free kick very fast. That one that they put in before was a little unusual. They usually put it down and go, and they did catch Seattle right there, just not the cross that Nowinski wanted.
Shane Hayworth to take the goal kick. The redshirt junior came into this game with 20 saves and 2 shutouts. Well stepped in by Bjornathan. And good pressure from Michael Roberts. Has to concede the throw-in. But that's exactly what Seattle want to do, Keith, is close them down in those areas.
Well, I mean, you need to. You may not get the ball always from UConn because they're so good at keeping possession, but you certainly don't want to give them free reign. And, you're playing as when you talk about Roberts, he's a lone striker, so he's got a lot of work to do. And I'm quite sure that we'll see him and Haddadi, taking turns up there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them almost go half and half in this game. And also remember that this is the second game in 3 days, which means that probably these teams end up going to the bench a little bit more than they normally would. Neither one of these teams are teams known for substituting a ton. But you spend a lot of energy on Friday night, and you're playing on a hot day here Saturday afternoon. You're likely to see more guys coming off the bench.
.28 minutes left in the first half. And we have a very special guest here on NSCAA TV as we are joined by Seattle U Athletics Director Bill Hogan. Bill, first of all, thank you so much for having us.
It's my pleasure. Great to have you guys with us.
And I got to ask, what did Seattle University's return to Division I mean to the school as well as to the city of Seattle to have 2 Division I athletic programs now?
Well, this is a good example of it this weekend. With we played beat Penn on Friday night 2-0. They're playing UW today, and then obviously UConn went over to University of Washington on Friday night. So it creates more competitive opportunities for both schools.
And that was one of the things, is that if it weren't for the partnership between you guys and the University of Washington, then that's how you're able to bring teams over so that they can play both of these squads.
Right, and the whole thing about going back to Division I for the university was we have this wonderful academic school that was kind of up here in the northwest corner that people just didn't know enough about. And since we've gone back to Division I, the media attention, the visibility, it's all gone. In fact, this just came out this week. We're ranked number 5 out of 144 schools in our category. So we moved up to number 5. And I think a lot of that has to do with recruiting really good students, but people being aware of us also.
And also have a chance here off a corner kick. An in-swinger from the far side doesn't beat the defender at the near post. They're going to get a second bite of the cherry.
That's what you call the corner kick, a bite of the cherry. I like that.
So another chance. This one has to get over the first defender. He's making a late run in his Rose. Oh, what a free header at the back post. And Roldan just wide. Should have had that one. But it remains 1-0 in favor of UConn. And last season, the men's soccer program earned their program's first division tournament win at Creighton. Did that validate and make the hard work in transitioning back to Division I worth it, especially considering that you guys have gone from the NAIA all the way up the college pyramid to get to this first division?
And Creighton had an outstanding program. Obviously, they were in the Final Four 2 years, the 2 previous years. So going there for a first-round match in the snow and come with a victory. That was our first Division I NCAA tournament victory since 1964. So it's been a long time. So it was special.
Roldan's whistled for a foul in the box, so get out of jail free card for UConn. And head coach Pete Fewing with the NAIA National Championship in 1997, was Coach of the Year, and then the Division II National Championship in 2004, Coach of the Year again. What has he meant to Seattle University?
He's been here over 20 years. He took we call it a 6-year sabbatical. So it's great to have him back. And he has big goals, and we have big goals with him. We want to win a national championship in Division I, and we feel like we're well on our way.
And Ballou trying to get it back, and he wasn't able to get to it before it went out of bounds, so it's going to be a goal kick. Mr. Hogan, thank you so much for joining us here today on NSCAA TV and for your hospitality. Championship Field is beautiful, and your team is looking very, very strong despite being down 1-0 at the moment.
Wonderful. Can you give me one more goal before halftime?
I will do my best.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Just under 25 minutes to play at Championship Field. The visitor UConn Huskies have a 1-0 lead, courtesy of an Ethan Vanacore-Decker goal. Seattle University just had their best chance to equalize, however, Roldan put his free header wide at the back post. And now it's the Huskies with their tails up. Offside flag stays down. Space to swing this ball in. Instead, it's played low on the ground. And Coley was stripped. Vanacore-Decker couldn't get enough purchase behind that shot. Otherwise, he should have had his second of the game.
Yeah, he should have had his second of the game there. He certainly should have had that on target as well. You know, I think he had a lot more time than he felt once he got that ball. And, you know, they were a bit fortunate, UConn, to get that ball through. We see here as the ball comes across and it's played in. And this is Laren getting the ball to play the ball back across. And we'll see here's Coley getting the ball. And that's Vanacore-Decker getting it at the top of the 18, turning and off balance and putting it wide. And again, a shot that he really needs to get on target. But good composure by UConn playing the ball there. And again, well, you'll see this most of the time from Seattle, putting the ball in. A couple of the big guys, and you know, going up from the back. John Mao.
Bjornathan. And that is a good ball, but very decisive as Wagmeister coming out to claim.
Yeah, Wagmeister came out well against on that ball, and you know they got some big targets. We said John Mao going up. Mao, the graduate student here at Seattle, he was a very good, solid player for Marquette out of the Big East, and so he's certainly not anyone that Ray Reid does not know about from the Big East days of UConn.
And this is Vanacore-Decker. Besso trying to escape the attention of Ballou. Coley. UConn do a good job to get the ball from one side to the other to try and open up some space. Now they're going to look to go forward. Nice little flick on from Laren. However, Ballou gets back to strip Vanacore. And that will be a free kick in favor of Seattle University.
And that was Nicholas Aninga coming in from his left wing position, helping out defending in there, but getting the foul. And you see this again, Zaninga coming in, and number 12, Coley, a little bit too aggressive on that one there.
It was good to see Rahani get up. He looked like he took a forearm to the face.
Yeah, well, that's what he's holding there, so he did, but he's fine. And
once again, the long free kick taken by Bjornathan. Rose gets to the byline, and he wins the third corner kick of the game for Seattle University. Although that one, perhaps it was just because he was reaching for it, needs to go back across goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were fortunate to get to that position because I think Bjornathan's long free kick actually put them in a difficult spot. They were going away from their goal, and they were quite fortunate to get in there. So getting a corner kick out of that from that free kick, they should be happy with that. We'll see if they do a little bit better on the corner now.
And the first substitution is made.
Substitution for Seattle University, coming into the match, number 30, Michael Roberts. Number 14, Ray Shabaka.
Ray Shabaka coming in. had the assist on the game-winning goal by Rose in that 2-0 victory against Penn. And a chance for Ballou at the top of the box. And a good block, rather. Otherwise, that one could have caused Wagmeister some problems.
Again, he's open at the top there. He's got a lot of people, though, to get that shot through.
So fourth corner kick of the game. First one from this left-hand side.
This will be an in-swinger. All the corners that I've seen for Seattle come in towards the goalkeeper. And this does allow Heinz Ike to get in. He's a big guy, and he takes it from the other side, so now he's in.
Cleared only as far as Langston. Clip back into the box. Something still might be on here for UConn, or for Seattle, rather, but quickly off his line once again is Wagmeister. He's done a good job reading the game. As a reminder to visit the official NSCAA college scoreboard at topdrawersoccer.com for all of your college score needs, along with the most up-to-date scores. Topdrawersoccer.com provides box scored, match, team, and player statistics, video highlights, and game recaps of all the action around the country.
We have some action around the country today. Probably one of the top games of the day. It was UC Irvine at Georgetown. UC Irvine going into that game 4-0. Georgetown at 2-1-2, and it was a 1-1 tie in Washington, D.C. So UC Irvine remains unbeaten. And Georgetown has a weekend where 2 overtime games. They lost to VCU Friday at home, and then the tie today against Irvine.
Heinz Ike fighting with Laren, and he wins the battle. Langston getting around Ballou. It allows Ballou to cut inside. And joining the party is Josh Green on the far side. 20-year-old from New Zealand gets it back to his center back. And Roldan dispossessed. Good job to win it back. And this is Rose. Redshirt sophomore, beautiful ball into the channel. And trying to clip it back. But UConn was wise to it. However, safety first, and it'll be a throw-in from deep in their own end. Rose takes it quickly.
And again with Seattle, you see that's the right back, Josh Green, up there in the attack, getting stuff done there. And Seattle, a really good set right now. Just as I say that, they lose the ball, but they get it right back. And this is what they've been doing. Every time they lose or get in trouble, they're getting it back in good positions. They just got to generate something out of that. Not enough shots coming from the amount of possession that they're getting in the attacking half.
And at the moment, UConn content to try and pass their way out of the back. So they're going to give it all the way back to Wagmeister. The redshirt junior Wagmeister out of the New York Red Bulls Academy. Aua showing out wide, but instead Campbell elects to play it all the way across. Pinpoint accuracy on that ball. Zuniga. Vanacore. And UConn will recycle their runs. Besso. He has his pocket picked, and it's 2-on-2 going the other way. Trying to play inside for Shabaka.
And Besso really an unusual giveaway there, but playing a little bit casual and really well read by Seattle. They should have done better there, 2-on-2.
Laren into space. Cuts inside Bjornathan. However, his shot lacked the necessary direction and power. You expect Laren to finish from there.
Yeah, you certainly expect a better shot. He was trying to place it to the far post with his left foot. He clearly mishit that, an easy one for Hayworth to grab.
Aua has his pocket picked, and Heinz Ike gets it off to Rose. Josh Green venturing into the attack once again. Rohani. Oh, gorgeous little flick on. Lovely 1-2 touch play, and perhaps a bit too intricate there when Heinz Eichberg could have taken that shot.
Yeah, I think he probably should have, or at least drawn the defender and maybe come the other way. That was obviously a very difficult pass to connect on. A little chip there, not a lot of space. Margin of error. We have another look at this, and good play here. Now we get in there, and actually Jeff Rose that was, trying to play that ball. And I tell you, I love the way that Seattle interchanges so much with that midfield. It's very difficult to defend against.
Besso. Nerwinski joining the party. Nerwinski trying to engineer a bit of space. Works his way into the box, is going to leave it off for Besso. Swings it in with that left boot to the far post. Headed back, the shot is on. Oh, and what a strike that is! 2-0 UConn with 14 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half. And once again, just unable to get the job done in their box, Seattle University, as that ball came out.
And I'll tell you what, look who's sitting there to put that away. That's the right back. That's Jacob Nerwinski. And I'll tell you, look at this finish. You're not going to see a much better finish in any games that we've seen this year. Look at it, he's just hanging out there, and he's thinking, I'm just going to keep going and going. And all of a sudden, the ball's back to him. And what a good composure as well by Laren to lay that ball off. But what a finish by Nerwinski. And this is a guy that does not score goals. No goals all last year, 5 assists, and what a nice finish there. And boy, that's got to hurt for Seattle, because Seattle's actually been playing quite well in this game.
This is a Husky squad that scored 36 goals last year. And now it looks like after a couple of barren games, it could be floodgates for them.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Seattle's a pretty disciplined team, and I think that, right now they got to chase the game without opening up, because they open up too much. We've already seen what Laren can do in open space. We have a sub in here for Connecticut. Adair DeGrassa is in, and Vanacore Decker is out, and what that's done is put Besso right into that center midfield spot.
Rose played inside from Rohani, but right to the keeper. And Weckmeister making absolutely sure.
So Besso goes into the role in the center of the midfield, which really makes more sense, because when he was starting out at right midfield, he really was all over the field anyways to get the ball. But DeGrassa, a really good wide player, very similar to Zaninga.
Langston joins the attack. That's a better ball in from him. But coming out to claim is Wagmeister. Looked like he almost dropped it, but was able to hold on to it.
It was more than almost, Mark. He did drop the
He
ball.
really bobbled that one.
Casually dropped it, I guess is what we'd say.
Goalkeepers cannot afford to have those lapses in concentration, especially when they go up for balls like that. However, UConn remain up 2-0 with just over 12 minutes left to play in this first half. And like you said, Keith, Seattle's done well. They've created their chances. However, twice scrambles in the box, and twice UConn have made them pay.
Yeah, and basically involved in both of them in one way or another was Kyle Laren. And while he hasn't scored, first time he hasn't scored in one of the games so far. He's 4 goals on the year. He just posted up there, and again, a perfect layoff. I mean, you couldn't have set Nerwinski up better, for that ball there. And he was a part of that first goal too, shielding off defenders. And whether he actually got a touch on it laying it off or not, it was hard to tell, but certainly he did not allow the defenders to get to the ball.
And another substitution to be made by UConn, as Kyle Laren is going to make his way off the field.
Substitution for Connecticut, coming into the match, number 10, Kyle Laren, and number 8, Alonzo Matheson.
And Matheson will come on for his 5th straight sub appearance. 1 assist on the season.
Yeah, now Yondo Matheson, a senior from Ontario, and this guy's a good player. I was really impressed with him last year. I mean, in reality, he deserves to be starting. If they played a different sort of setup, I'm sure he would be a starter, but he's a tough guy to come in the bench. You do not get much of a break when he comes in.
Matheson out of the Toronto FC Academy and a former member of the Canadian U20 national team. As those Northeast schools like Syracuse and UConn seem to get some of the best Canadian players.
Yeah, they always have. And, Syracuse had a long line of getting those players. And the Toronto area in particular, actually, is such a hotbed. And, with the, when the MLS came in and Toronto became a part of the MLS, it just increased the amount of players up there. Of course, now you're competing against them staying in the MLS and being homegrown players.
Flying over Shabaka to win the header. Shabaka gets it back, however. Langston. Heinz Ike. Well, that's what he's capable of. Just over the head of Rohani.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of that for Heinz Ike because in reality, Seattle's attack had gotten ahead of him, very quickly in this game, which is a good thing. But when he does sit back there and gets the ball, he is very good at spraying the ball around the field.
And that's what Matheson is capable of, but good job by Josh Green to stab that one away and quell the counterattack. As we're inside the final 10 minutes of first half, normal time here at Seattle University. In fact, just inside the final 10 minutes is when the clock hits 0. Both teams will go into the locker rooms for halftime.
That's good ball movement again by Seattle. They do a lot of things really well in this game. They really don't deserve to be down 2-0. Other than the fact that you got to be much better defenders if you're going to let a team like UConn get in and around the 18. You're going to have to be very good individually defending individually. Excuse me. Was
it just a lack of urgency in the box that had hurt them both times, or just unlucky?
Well, partly. I mean, the first goal, they needed to stop Nowinski before he turned the corner. I mean, they had a chance to defend him, and quite frankly, Sam Langston, was beaten on it, and then the cross came in. And what I do like is that when the cross came in, Connecticut committed a lot of players in there, and it really caused a lot of trouble. A lot of times you see that, and there's only 1 or 2 players challenging. It's easy to mark up on them. Part of that has to do with Laren. He attracts so much attention that other players around him are free.
Langston, quick touch back from Roldan. Inside for Heinz Ike. Rohani tried to play it in for Rose, and it goes all the way to Aykroyd. Oh, what a flick on that was from Masson. However, Josh Green was wise to it and gets it back to his keeper. And Shane Hayworth can't be faulted for either of those goals.
No, I don't think so. Not in terms of being able to make a save. Whether he could have done anything organizationally is another question. The big thing in the second goal was that Nowinski was able to just kind of walk up there and almost literally walk to that spot without anyone getting to him.
Wonderful dummy from Ballou. I think once again he's trying to cross it. Instead, it's too deep and it's easy pickings for Wagmeister.
Yeah, there's only been from this side one quality cross. Langston had his third attempt was a good cross in, but the three others have just been basically practice session crosses for the goalkeeper.
Rose with a bit of a hip check. However, it's just going to be a throw-in on the far side. And Keith, you have to admire the fact that even though Seattle University is down 2-0, they haven't changed the way they've played.
Well, no, I mean, because they played pretty well. What they have to change is how they defend, because it's not going to be the only chances that UConn gets in there. And of course, as you're down 2-0, you have to chase the game, and it's a real skill to chase the game carefully. And I think they're getting into good spots, and it's not like you can change or want to change everything. You only change things if it's just been totally overdone, and that's not happening in this game. You do change some players, though.
Roldan's coming out, and Ibrahima Drame coming in. Scored on his debut, the freshman from Guinea. The lone goal in the 4-1 loss against the Washington Huskies.
Yeah, and he had quite a spark when he came in the other night against UPenn. I thought he made a big difference and really created a lot of difficulty for Penn. So we'll see if he can add something here. Just over 6 minutes, and yet another corner kick for Seattle.
Was Pete Fewing said to me about Drame, he's 5'5", but he plays much bigger than that. Oh, and the back post once again. And this is Drame. Still fighting Drame. He's stripped of the ball by Matheson. Or check that. And this is Zuniga in space. Green trying to catch up to him. Zuniga cuts across him and goes down. And the referee points to the spot. And UConn has a chance to go 3-0 up from 12 yards out.
Yeah, that was Josh Green fouling Zuniga. It was a good call. Zuniga, as we said before, that's his favorite move, and it should be noted. He already did that move on Green one time and cut inside. He cuts inside again. It certainly looked. We'll have another look at it and see if the official got it right. It sure looked that way from here. You know, and yeah, it was a little bit back and forth. It could have been a little harsh. He did foul him. Zuniga had a chance to get by, and you know, what do you call that, Mark? Maybe 7 out of 10 refs give that?
Yeah.
A 70% penalty?
Well, it's going to be Besso to take. Looking for his first goal of the year, the Spaniard. Short run up for Besso. And he finds the corner. Hayworth guessed right, but just too much placement on that shot from the Spaniard. And UConn with a very comfortable 3-0 lead. And you have to say that the majority of these goals have come against the run of play, Keith.
Yeah, well, they've come against times in the game, you know, where Seattle had more of the play. And again, this was a quick counter, and this is something UConn has these players up top. Have another look at this very well-placed corner. Certainly wasn't hit, you know, with much power, just put in the right spot. You know, I think Hayworth might actually like to have another chance of that. He extends with just one arm instead of two. He might have had a chance to touch that.
Nerwinski was instrumental in the first 2 goals. And even though Besso stroked home the penalty, it was really DeGrassa, who just wins the header, who made that goal by winning that ball off of Drame and bringing it downfield before getting it off to Zuniga, who was off to the races against Green.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Mark. Is DeGrassa really did make that, and he won the ball and really at speed went there. That's where they got to stop him before they get past that midfield.
Rouhani to have a go right into the clutches of Wagmeister.
Yeah, I'd say if there's the biggest concern aside from the score line for Pete Fueling is the fact that the chances that they are getting, they're listed for 6 shots for Seattle, is that they're all coming from second range. And obviously more difficult to score from second range. And the times they've got in there, they really haven't had one of those really good chances aside from that header off the corner.
Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. As Nicholas Zuniga is getting set to check out, Tyler Lehman will come in for him. However, is going to have to wait till the next stoppage of play. So this could be a long throw into the box. And there it is, looking for the flick on. Shabaka gets there, Drame! And Drame just couldn't direct his header goalwards.
Yeah, it was a difficult one to get anything on the head, and, you know, just let this play out first.
Langston gets off Nerwinski, gets off the cross as well, and it's back in, Ballou's shot. And Langston will try and shield this one out for a corner kick. And 1 goal inside these final 3 minutes and 40 seconds would set up a very good second half.
It would, and actually I think that shot by Hansen actually got in on that.
I always say, Keith, the corner kick has to beat the first defender.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing there is on any restart if you can't get it past that first defender. And it always has to be an attacking player making that run and getting in front of that first defender.
And this will be Hansen, who came in along with Drame to make that throw. And so far, Seattle University just not able to get those flick-ons in the box.
We've got Nerwinski knocked heads there. He's holding his head, and that was off that long throw-in.
And referees are always going to stop for a head injury, especially after the controversy in the World Cup.
Yeah. And obviously, that should have been no controversy. That was a easy decision to make. That guy should not have been playing.
Mao sent it in.
Yeah, I'm saying again, just a ball that's kind of hung up there, and a little bit of contact with Wagmeister and that Shabaka with getting that contact. He was the one that just had the head-on-head with Nerwinski as well. Neither one of them on purpose, by the way, if you think I'm implying something.
And a missed kick. And able to clear it away before Shabaka could get to it was Coley. Heinz Ike. And Coley will be whistled for the foul. We could very well have our first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, he's going to get booked on this one. Not much argument from him either. It stops the clock with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
So a chance for Bjornathun to swing this ball in. The Western Athletic Conference reigning Rookie of the Year, Bjornathun.
And we see that foul there, pretty clear.
And that's a better ball in, and it deserved better. Good flick on, and players were crashing the far post, but that ball with just a bit too much pace as it sailed out of bounds.
Yeah, they had the flick on there, and again, it is a difficult timing on that, and they probably need a little bit more space behind the flick for something to happen.
So Wagmeister rather is going to take his time with 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the first half.
You do have Tyler Lehman now in and giving Nicholas Aninga a well-deserved break.
Besso fighting for it, but Mao wins the battle. Hansen rather played it off of the UConn player, and it comes out to Nowinski. We could see the idea trying to float it down the line. Couldn't keep it in bounds. 1 more minute for Seattle University to see if they can claw their way back into this lead as the Redhawks trailing the Huskies 3-0. Langston on the throw-in. Won by Nerwinski, but only as far as Rohani. Sprayed out wide by Heinz Ike. Josh Green trying to get forward, and Rose couldn't find him on the return pass, but he does get the throw-in. Clock still ticking, 35 seconds. Drame. And Drame wins a free kick. UConn, Keith, being very smart, standing in front, knowing that the clock's ticking down.
Yeah, the clock is ticking, and I think if it got closer, the ref would stop it, but we're going to see Heinz Ike, wouldn't be surprised putting it on target.
And Heinz Ike going for goal, just over the post, and that's how the first half is going to end. Seattle University playing well, and yet somehow finding themselves down 3-0 to the UConn Huskies at halftime.
Yeah, I think this type of game, that if you clipped out the goals and just watched the rest of it, you'd be really surprised at the scoreline, actually. You know, that UConn hasn't been, dominating in a way to be up 3-0, but they have been fairly clinical when they've gotten into the attacking part of the field, especially inside 20 yards, and that's where Seattle has just had tons of trouble.
I think if you take a look, though, Keith, at both boxes, UConn has done so well to get numbers around the ball and get it away as quickly as possible, where Seattle University has had trouble getting it out of their box, and they've been punished heavily for it.
Well, trouble getting out of the box because they can't get the ball once it's in there. As UConn's just done a fantastic job in and around the box, and really creating those things for there in a penalty kick. And we're waiting on Coach Ray Reed for UConn to come over and get his thoughts on the first half.
Ray Reed just 45 minutes away from his 396th victory all time and his 250th at UConn. As we have Coach Reed with us now. And Coach, good first half, 3 goals for you in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I thought our guys did a pretty good job with the counter. Seattle's a very good team. We got to be a little bit better in the back, but obviously we'll take the 3 goals right now. There's a lot of soccer left, though.
Well, I know you're going to take 3 goals all the time, Ray. In the first half, they were not really against the run of play, but not all of them made by a ton of pressure from you guys. I mean, you're really clinical up there. But what about the chances that Seattle is getting? They're certainly getting their chance of balls up there.
We got to be better, in the final third.
And Nerwinski has really played an instrumental part. Talk about his role in getting forward.
Yeah, he did a great job getting forward. He's one of the best right backs in the country.
He's proven that. Not a bad striker either, by the way. So.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ray.
Ray Reed with his thoughts on the first half. You know him from your time at Georgetown. He's one of those coaches that won't relax until the full 90 minutes.
A special day here today, Mark, isn't it?
The 2004 national championship team was honored on Friday night. The 1997 NAIA team honored as well, and Tom Hardy, the player of the year in the NAIA in 1997.
And they're going to have Jersey retired. We'll be talking with him in the second half as well.
Now talking about Bobby McAllister. 22 goals in 23 games, including the game winner in the 2004 Division II national title.
And this just goes to something you were talking about, about this before, in the fact that they won an NAI title, they won a Division II title. Now they're their third year into Division I, won the WAC conference as well.
So Tom Hardy's number 3 will never be worn again, and neither will Bobby McAllister's number 9.
So, Mark, this will be it. We're watching them being shown what they deserve for the great play that they've had, and we're looking forward to coming back with everybody. UConn, 3-0.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Minutes to go from Seattle University. Seattle University 0, UConn Huskies 3.
Now's your chance to be part of the most popular soccer camp in North America. Challenger Sports offers a wide range of programs with over 3,000 British soccer, Tetra Brazil, and Soccer Plus camps for players of all ages and abilities. Join me and Challenger's talented and committed coaches as we help develop new skills, build confidence, and find the magic in your game.
Summer camps are filling up. Register early at challengersports.com and get your free game jersey today.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The broadcast of this match is authorized by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. Any broadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the NSCAA is strictly prohibited. And NSCAA TV's next broadcast will be Tuesday, September 16th, as William and Mary will take on North Carolina. And Keith, I believe you're going to be a part of that one.
I'll be a part of that one, and I tell you, looking forward to that at William Mary. What a fantastic facility they have down there, and of course North Carolina, one of the top teams in the country as well. And this is one of these non-conference games, just like this one, that is quite exciting in the list. You see all these fantastic games that you can get here. By the way, next Saturday, back out in California, UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, man, that's one of the biggest ever they have every year. 15,000 one year there.
And of course, UCLA was upset last year on PKs by UConn in the NCAA tournament.
Yes, and UCLA, they were my pick to win this year. Minutes after I picked them, they lost to American University.
And of course, Disney Soccer, proud sponsor of the NSCAA.
Okay.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Welcome back at halftime. Seattle University, the Redhawks, trailing the UConn Huskies 3-0.
Yeah, Mark, and we're waiting Coach Peter Fewing here to get his comments on the first half, and Coach Fewing with us.
And Coach Fewing, your team played very well in the first half. However, there's just a few mix-ups at the defensive end.
Yeah, no, I agree. We gave away the ball in the midfield.
Tell you what, UConn is a good finishing team, so you can't give them those opportunities. On the second goal, we didn't get to the second ball. Ball goes into the box. UConn gets there, plays a nice square ball. Great finishes from their part. But I'm pleased with the attack. We're getting some opportunities. Our final ball has to be better, and we've got to get a few more numbers through the box.
Yeah, well, I certainly agree with that. I was actually saying that if you clipped out the 3 goals and just watched the rest of the game, you'd be shocked at the score line. But having said that, it is the score line. And, any adjustments we're going to see, with your team going into the second half, it's hard to chase a game like this, but obviously you need to.
Yeah, we got to get a goal to get back in it for sure, just to get us some momentum. You could see us go to 3 at the back and add another forward at some point, and we might as well. We're down 3-0, right? So there's not much to defend at this point. We do have to defend that. We cannot give UConn a 4th goal.
Absolutely. All right, Coach Fuhling, thanks very much.
Yeah,
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Thank you.
A good approach and attitude to that. I mean, obviously disappointed that they're down, but, does think his team's played decent. Going in there, and we'll see what their approach is.
A Continental Tire is the presenting sponsor of college soccer broadcast on NSCAATV.com. So we take a look at the first half stats, and Keith, what jumps out at you?
What jumps out at me is the shots were 9-8, and actually in favor of Seattle. And as we were saying, if you clipped out those goals, you would not have thought this was the case. But that's the biggest thing. But the other thing is, look at Seattle, 6 corner kicks. All right, and it just shows that they've had a lot of this game. And, this is the game of soccer sometimes. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how much you have the ball. You do have to defend in that dangerous area. And that's where this game is. The difference in this game is simply that, nothing else.
Well, the Huskies have been on the prowl in the box, and the only stat that matters, they have the 3-0 lead over Seattle University.
We'll go to have a look at some highlights here, and of course, Seattle, played fairly well the entire game, but also they started off well, coming in right early in the game. This is number 10, Jeff Rose, cutting inside, having a shot just wide, but it was Vanacore Decker putting it away after Nowinski had come up the right side and put it across there for UConn's first goal. And now look at him. Nowinski decided, hey, I don't want to be right back. I want to get in the scoring. Laren, a perfect layoff. That put in the corner. And then the penalty kick at the end, and just Bezo puts it in nice and calmly. 3-0, not against the run of play, but certainly not with the run of play either.
And, of course, Kyle Laren doesn't have a goal, but that's something you love to see from your striker. If he's not scoring, he's still providing for his other players running off him, and Laren played a part in the first 2 goals as we get a good look at the 3rd goal scorer, Besso, from the spot, his first goal of the season.
Yeah, well, you did. You talk about Laren, and Laren, what a goal. He has an assist officially, obviously the one he laid off to Nowinski, but I actually think he was a major part of that first goal, holding off the defense, and he may have actually also helped lay the ball off. I think when they look at it, he may end up with one of the assists as well in the first goal. But there's the bottom line, Mark. He attracts so much attention. These other guys are open, and that's one of the things there. And clearly, a player that knows when to be selfish and when not to be.
Ben Oakley getting set to call the 2 teams back into action for the final 45 minutes from Championship Stadium. Mark Serber alongside Keith Tabasnik here on NSCAA TV's Game of the Week. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. And Keith, when you were up 3-0 with your Georgetown teams, would you tell them to keep going, or would you tell them to just manage the game and see out the clock?
No, you have to keep playing, and like I said, if Seattle scores a goal first here, then game's on again, and you have to keep a focus, and you certainly might not be rushing the play or anything. You may be a little bit more deliberate on certain things because the clock is in your corner, but it's also you don't want to get into poor habits. I mean, if UConn scored another goal and it's 4-0, they still have to stay in good habits and work on things that they want to be good at the whole time. So. I think you got to be very careful. Maybe you do play, you get in some other players that you've been wanting to get some playing time, but certainly not at 3-0. That changed. If I was on the other side of it too, I would be. If I had a strong belief in my team, I would believe that we can come back and win that game.
Pete Fewing talking to Hazma Haddadi, so you get the feeling that he's going to start in the second half.
And he is. He's on the field, and he had started against. He started all the first games for Seattle. Did not start this game, and now goes in up top as that target player. Roberts had gotten his first start of the game, first start of the season, and now Haddadi back in. Good target player for them. Holds the ball up pretty well, and he is a player that Roberts actually didn't really do this when he was in the first. But Haddadi is a player that can bring the rest of the team into the game a lot better.
Final 45 minutes about to get underway. UConn with the ball in the 3-0 lead. The perfect riposte to their Friday night loss against the other Huskies, the ones from Washington.
No, exactly. I mean, when you do a West Coast trip, well, all teams, you want to win both games. You're playing a team. University of Washington, they could go very deep in the NCAAs this year. They are a big-time team. So UConn comes out there and loses to them. If they were to hold on, to keep going and play in this game and win this game, you go back with a win on a West Coast road trip for East Coast team. You're not going to be disappointed. And again, Ray knows he's got a team that he believes in. And you could tell. They're 1-3, and if they were to end up losing this game, it'd be the first time, only the third time in Ray's career he's lost 3 in a row, and but you didn't see any frustration in him or the associate head coach John Dealey when I was talking with him either. They do believe in the team.
And this is a UConn team that started out slow last year too, but then went 17 games unbeaten from September 21st all the way until they lost in the NCAAs. A chance early on, and a great save by Wagmeister. That should have been the Red Hawks putting themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, I tell you, what a fantastic chance. And a great individual effort by Haddadi. It's not something that is really his bread and butter. His bread and butter is the back to the goal and laying balls off. That time he had a turn and went at him. I think he's got something to prove here because, I do think he was probably told fairly late that he was not going to be starting, and, maybe to get him going a little bit. See this, as we saw that replay again there.
Wagmeister with the long punt.
Good start for Seattle, a good positive start. And it's the same thing, Pete Fewing, the coach, very positive in his approach. And, what he said at halftime, he said, yeah, I'm happy we did a lot of great things, but at the end of the day, we're still down 3-0.
And Pete Fewing, such a level-headed guy, and I think a coach like that is the reason that a team can start 0-6-1 like they did last season and come back to win the conference title and the tournament title in the Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah, well, you have to believe in your players, but you also have to believe in yourself when that's happening. And certainly Coach Fewing been around the block. He's been around this block 21 years, actually, and such success here, and coached the Kitsap Pumas at the PDL championship a couple years ago. I was fortunate enough to be able to call that game, and really exciting game just across the Puget Sound in Kitsap.
We were talking to Athletic Director Bill Hogan, and he said as once again coming off his line, and this time almost to his own detriment, was Wagmeister. Zuniga turning. Vanacore Decker. Nice ball in from Awua. And Bjornathan did just enough. And that pass too easily telegraphed. And this is Nerwinski once again, now causing trouble down the other flank. He's been a real hassle this game, Nerwinski.
He's impressive. I mean, as you heard Coach Ray Reed say, the best right back in the country. And I can't say I've seen every right back in the country, Mark, but certainly I would have to say that Nerwinski would have to be up there, in those ranks. And the thing is, here's a guy that really won this spot. They did not recruit him expecting him to do what he's done, and just hold on there, but got his chance partway into last season, never let it go.
And Laren a bit too tactile for the referee's liking, so it'll be a free kick for Seattle University. As I was saying, UConn started slow last year, went 17 games unbeaten from September 21st all the way until they lost to UVA in the quarterfinals on December 6th.
Yeah, and I was at that game, actually, the UConn-UVA game, and it was a really, just a very good college soccer game, and, UVA on its way to a good run last year. They just celebrated their championship team. I think it was the 1989 team or something. They had a big reunion, 25-year reunion this weekend. Bruce Arena and company were all in town in Charlottesville for that.
Flicked on header. Haddadi chasing. Coley able to win it. Ackroyd gets it back to his keeper. Wasn't the best of passes, And with Haddadi chasing, Wagmeister just had to slam it out of bounds.
Well, again, we'll see if Haddadi's come in and made a difference very quickly in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and we'll see if they can get rewarded for it. Certainly, he had a great chance to score right off the bat.
And trying to get to the byline. Well cleared out, but at the expense of a corner kick.
Yeah, another corner kick. Dylan Greenberg defending on that one off the 1-2, knocking the ball out of bounds. And Dylan, a freshman from New York.
This one played very deep. It's going to have to be hit back across goal. Instead, Aykroyd heads it out of bounds. So we'll do the same thing, but from the other side.
This is corner kick number 8, I believe.
UConn has yet to have a corner kick, defending their 8th and defending it well, as it was Nerwinski getting up.
You know, Mal goes forward on that from the center back. What's interesting, you know, is Heinz Ike, who's quite a big player there, hangs at the top of the 18, doesn't really get into middle of that. Obviously, the ball comes back to his left foot. He'll be happy for that shot where he is.
And this time it's a throw-in, and UConn just winning the battle in the box at both ends, and that's the story of this game, Keith.
It has been. It's been the play inside the 18 and not between the 18s that has determined this one. And, you know, quite a fair amount of possession for Seattle. UConn had a little bit of a moment there after they're up 2-0 where they were keeping the ball for longer periods of time. But it's been more like this, open field and going.
Laren looking to run. Closed down on the far side. Sends it over for Zuniga. Zuniga squares up to Green. Awua tried to clip it into the box. And Coley wins it right back. Freshman pushes it out wide on another player going down in the box, and this time the referee Ben Oakley is going to let it go.
Yeah, he let it go. Assistant referee had the best look at it and saw nothing there. And Nerwinski gets right up and goes back without even saying a word. So I'm guessing they all got it right.
And is it because even if there was minimal contact, it was such a heavy touch from Nerwinski that he was never going to get to the ball?
He wasn't likely to get to the ball, yeah. I mean, if there wasn't much contact there, that was probably coming into play as well in any decision. But, you know, certainly you have to be able to end up getting to the ball, you know, for a penalty to be called. Or a foul.
Well, that throw and taken from about 15 yards in front of where it actually went out of bounds.
Well, I think it was a 15-yard penalty. I think it was holding or something like that. You know.
It is Sunday, but wrong football.
Wrong football.
Yeah.
Wrong football, but the right football. And, again, we're happy to be bringing it to you. NSCATV.com, a fantastic set of games. And, you know, Rob Kehoe and Joe Cummings and Chris Burt and company and Dean Linke all putting together such a great package once again this year.
Heavy challenge from Nerwinski. Be a free kick for Seattle in the center circle. And referee tells Nerwinski just to chill out. And Seattle has started off positively.
Yeah, no, it was a good approach. I mean, we talked about if you know they had bad starts the season last year, you have to have a pretty positive approach to things.
Well, 3-0 is a tall task, but this is a side that came back 5 times last season as this one clipped into the mix. Out for Rohani, right into the midriff of Wagmeister. There's space down the line for Zuniga. Good sliding challenge, but Zuniga gets it back and trying to curl it toward the back post. Nobody crashing that back stick, however.
No, exactly. And going in there, and UConn continue going. Now, by the way, the 2015 NSCA convention, all right, in Philadelphia, January 14th to 18th. Let me tell you something. Go to nsca.com/convention. Check it out. Hey, Mark, if you've never been to this convention, you've got to go. Any coaches out there, I don't have to say it to the coaches who have been because they will be going back to it. I will be there. You can find me at Geno's or something like that for cheesesteaks, about 12 or 1. I won't tell you what part of the day that will be, but I go to conventions every year, second year in a row in Philadelphia. Fantastic time last year.
Laren ghosting between the two center backs. Laren looking for his 5th. Good job by Hayworth to come out off his line and make himself as big as possible. And actually, that's what I'm worried about, Keith, is that you're going to be at Geno's. You're going to miss the convention.
I'll miss parts of it. Pat, I'll go back and forth across the street from Pat and Geno's down there. But, hey, it's one of the big reasons to go to Philadelphia. It's the cheesesteaks. But the biggest reason down there is the people that they bring in for the lectures and the sessions. The clinicians are just outstanding. And there's just so much that goes on. I mean, there's thousands and thousands. It's the biggest coaching organization in the world, and they put on the best show in the world, no doubt about it.
Hansen comes out, and Shabaka gets first entrance from the bench in the second half. Haddadi. That's a good ball in. Shabaka. What a move that would have been if he could have flicked it to himself. Rose looking for his 5th of the season. Gets it out wide to Langston, who came barreling forward. But it's off of him last, and another move peters out for Seattle University.
Yeah, well, I think Shabaka actually could have done better with that. I think he tried to be a little too clever, and I think he could have just opened up his body and had a good touch on that. It was a good ball across and a good series for Seattle once again.
And this time, Haddadi late in pressuring, inviting UConn to get out of their own end, and they want to throw in midfield. Wagmeister. This one headed by Mao. Earned 2 degrees in 3 years at Marquette. Winning the Big East regular season title and the conference championship last year. Now pursuing his MBA. And pursuing the space is Aua. Gets it over to Laren, but the offside flag is up.
And again, one of the things about pressing and going forward, to try to get one of these goals is you do open up space as well. And, Laren is just kind of waiting on that. He had that great opportunity before when he went through, almost there, but offsides. And here's the thing, if Pete Phelan does end up going with 3 in the back, that'll even be a bigger challenge for him there. They're all almost that way now because their outside backs just keep going forward.
Another giveaway in midfield, and this time Laren was definitely offside, but play goes on as Seattle wins it back. Mao.
The one thing about Laren is he doesn't need a head start, though, to beat him. He's got to be a little more disciplined there. I think he's got a future in the game. I think he'll be a draft pick in the MLS. And that's where you just got to become a bit of a smarter player there, and you don't want to lose a couple of what could be decent chances there if you just stay on side.
And it's all about learning those intricate details, like how to loop your run, how to stay on the onside well, on the back shoulder of the player.
No, exactly. Instead of just hanging, like you're waiting for the starting gun in a race.
That was a good idea, cutting inside. However, just a bit too high, and it'll be a throw in for Nicholas Zuniga, who's going to leave this one off. Coming over to take is Dylan Greenberg, U18 international. Looking for Laren, coming very far back to receive this one. Leaves it off for Zuniga. Zuniga's also been a nuisance on the flank. Aua. Lovely ball from him. And Besso helps it onto the far side. Nerwinski getting forward yet again. Nerwinski looking to go at it alone. Not as good as his first shot on goal, but still great effort from Nerwinski getting forward.
Yeah, he really took what the defense gave him. And you think about Nerwinski, every single time he's gone down, we have another look at it. Every time he's gone down, he's gone to his right. Here's the first time that he's come inside. Decent defending by Seattle to keep with him, but they actually still allowed him that left-footed shot. Obviously has to do a lot better with it. Not the shot he put in, right into the upper 90 in the first half. But Nerwinski, to me so far, he's been the most impressive player of the game so far.
Think head coach Ray Reid agrees with you?
I think he definitely agrees with me.
Best right back in the country. That's a pretty bold statement.
Ray always agrees with me when he's not on the air, and he can't say anything back.
Wagmeister punches. And it's going to be a corner kick, but once again, Keith, it's UConn winning that first and second ball in the box.
Yeah, it's certainly getting that first ball out, and it's quite a battle there because again, Seattle gets the corner off of it, and see if they do a little bit better.
Well, this time they elect to play it short.
Yeah, it was a. Hold on here.
Heinz Ike had a crack. Langston to have a go, took a deflection, and it'll be another corner kick.
And I'll tell you one thing, Langston there, it looked like, wow, that's quite a distance to take that shot. A lot of people in it, but he certainly struck that well, and I think that was on target had it not been deflected.
And in a crowded box, if it gets through, anything can happen. As another in-swinger coming in. And headed back down, saved on the line. Mao with a second opportunity, and another corner kick. Believe now that's 11 corner kicks to nothing in favor of the home side.
It is. They need to get something off it, though. They do need to get a goal fairly soon to try to have a way to climb back into this game.
Six players to find in the box. Played short yet again. And trying to clip it in, but just too many blue jerseys policing Seattle's offense.
Yeah, that was. Let's see what this long ball does. That corner was by design. The last time they laid it off, this time he keeps it, to try to put it in Heinz Ike, and nothing off either one of them.
Vanacore Decker going one-on-one against Green. Not a bad idea with that quick little shot with the outside of the right foot.
Yeah, I think maybe he thinks about that, or maybe toe poking that. But again, he gets through them very well. A very exciting attacking player for UConn, and I think all the attention that Laren gets, Vanacore Decker could really be a beneficiary of that. Being open from behind.
Good defending by Campbell on the far side. And a free kick will be given to UConn. As we are with Tom Hardy right now, the 1997 NAIA National Player of the Year. And Tom, what do you remember from that season the most?
Well, I just remember that the players just would do anything for each other, and we put the team goals ahead of individual goals.
And now to see that this team is playing in Division I and NCAA, what does it mean to you to know that you were the building blocks, you created that foundation for this program to rise up the ranks of the college game?
Well, it does mean a lot, and I'm really proud of the university for making that move. We have a little ways to go, as the score indicates, but I think the team's up for the challenge.
Well, Seattle University certainly looking good in every aspect except for on the scoreboard in this game. But what is it like knowing that the number 3 will never be worn again because you perform so admirably in it?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. I mean, it's something you don't really expect when you're playing, but it's a humbling experience, something I'll always be proud of, and come and show my kids, and I am very proud of it. Yeah.
And it's because of what you guys did that this became from East Field to now Championship Field. So that's something that you have to be proud of too, knowing that you were a part of that.
Absolutely, and I mean, with the addition of the lights and these stands, and the facilities have really come a long ways as well. So it's a great place to play a game here.
It was Laren who was looking to get in on the act, couldn't keep his shot down though. And Tom, put on your player's hat right now. If you're out there, what does Seattle you need to do if they're going to mount what would be a pretty incredible comeback with just under 26 minutes left?
Well, I mean, they have to get hungry for the ball. I'd like to see a little more third man running off the ball, and get those crosses in the box and get on the end of it.
And finally, after playing here at Seattle, you spent some time in Major League Soccer with Kansas City. Tell us about your time there.
Well, I just had a cup of coffee with Kansas City. I played with Vancouver 86ers, and it was a great experience. Really, it was fun to play after college. I mean, any time you can continue to play the game you love, it's great. So I appreciate it.
Well, a cup of coffee is better than no shot whatsoever. So I still think that that's a tremendous achievement. Tom, thank you so much for joining us here on NSCAA TV, and congratulations on your honor.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you. And a heavy foul, and referee stopping the clock here. And it's going to be a yellow card. And it's going against Shabaka. As we are now joined by Bobby McAllister.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Great, thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations, first of all. Tremendous weekend. And once again, just like with Tom Hardy, you're part of the building blocks of this program. All-time leading scorer, single season in history here. What was it like that season for you? You just couldn't stop scoring goals.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. You get on a roll, and everything came together. We had a lot of interesting stories that season. Our keeper came back after 5 years of not playing, and we got a couple, and it just kept coming. So there were games where we played at Bakersfield, and we were under it and ended up winning 2-0. So yeah, it's hard to put your finger on it, but yeah, it was a special year.
Well, you obviously scored the game-winning goal in the final. What do you remember most about that Division II final?
The final I remember was in Wichita Falls, Texas, and it was a really, really windy day, so it was hard to get the ball on the ground. And I just remember, we had a game Friday night, and we went into overtime and won it late in overtime, so real leggy that game. And it was just, in the end, it kind of came down to a battle of who wanted it more, and we just, fortunately I got the goal with about, I think, 15 minutes to go.
And what does it mean to you to know that because of what you've done for this program, your number will forever hang in the rafters and never be worn again by another Seattle player?
Well, minus the fact that there's probably going to be a lot of forwards that are upset they don't have the number 9. I think for me it's really an achievement of our team, and I'm just the beneficiary of that. It wouldn't be there if we hadn't won the national championship. So unlike Tom, I don't have any kids yet, but when I do, I'm sure I'll take them there, and I'll be real proud. So it's like Tom said, it's hard to put it into words.
Well, congratulations again on tremendous achievement 10 years ago, and of course on your huge honor this weekend. And thank you so much for joining us here on NSCAA TV.
Thank you.
And another break is on here for Laren. Only Zuniga pouring forward. He does have support in Vancourt Decker, and he's trying to look for his second goal. Once again, the shot was always rising.
But I tell you what, I love it when I'm hearing the Seattle people talking about their little time in the pros. They call it a cup of coffee, and I guess that's because of Seattle, known for their coffee. But a good friend of mine, Shannon Murray, is one of the bright young coaching education instructors in this country, and he's from Seattle, and he had what he called a cup of coffee with the Sounders, and hear it again right here. So I guess that you can't swing anything around Seattle without hitting a coffee shop somewhere. So.
And that's fine with me. Plenty to keep us energized. But all the action in this game. It's been a very well-played game despite the scoreboard. Doesn't really tell the whole story.
No, I'm sorry, Mark. I say, if you did join us late and you're seeing it's 3-0, you would be surprised if you'd only watched the run of play of things in the game, clipped out the goals that happened. It has been, even if not even more of Seattle having the ball in this game right from the beginning. Right now, of course, with we're halfway through the second half now, and UConn with that 3-0 lead. What Peter Fewing needed really bad was that goal early, to really have a chance. And as each minute goes by, it's a more difficult thing. And my guess is if they got that goal early, they might end up going to 3 in the back. I'm not sure if they would right now unless they do get a goal.
Green with the clearance. Out of the Old Football Academy in New Zealand, Josh Green.
The old one in New Zealand, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what they call it, the Old Football Academy. No D necessary.
5 for 21 UConn, thank you.
As Agustin Andrade has checked in, freshman making his 3rd sub-appearance of the season, was a 3-time MVP at Nordhoff High School in Ojai, California.
It will be interesting to see with both teams if they go to their bench a little bit more than they may normally do. We have a man down right now, and referee stopping the clock, bringing it. It looks like he got hit in the head.
And
Shabaka.
Shabaka, who's struggling.
So they'll get a little break here going over to the sideline for water. It's a warm day out here in Seattle, and just absolute picture-perfect day for playing. However, probably a little warmer than they'd like it to be after playing on Friday night as well. And it takes a lot of energy out to play 2 games in 3 days, especially with that one Friday being a night game and this being an afternoon game. It's that much less time for recovery. Again, see what happened. Yeah, it looks like it's got knocked in the face there inadvertently by Wahoo.
And a gorgeous backdrop to this stadium too. Just the field is absolutely immaculate, and then the backdrop so beautiful with downtown behind it here at Championship Field.
Downtown, if you're a taller person than myself, you might be able to see Mount Rainier as well off to the left. Saw it walking in here, but again, Seattle, you be out here in Pacific Northwest, so beautiful. I've been here a couple days, and what a nice city to be in. So hope we'll get back out here Friday night. Seattle Sounders were home and was able to be downtown as they were all walking back from the game. And what a fantastic soccer city they had. They had a big win over Real Salt Lake 3-2. Congratulations to Siggy Schmidt and company.
Drame checks back in.
We already said that UC Irvine and Georgetown tied 1-1 today, 2 top 10 teams, and some other teams. There's still some undefeated teams in this country we'll get to in a second.
Youth clubs and players want to be noticed by the top college programs, and the NSCAA can help. Through its partnership with Elite Tournaments, the NSCAA College Showcase connects you with college coaches so you can show off your talents. Clubs, players, and college coaches can find more information at nscaa.com. It was Laren who was looking for the flick on. Heinzike overtakes. And the long ball looking for Haddadi. In a shoving match with Aykroyd. Flicks it over. Wagmeister coming off his line. And he will claim. Wagmeister's read the game really well today. Coming off, picking and choosing the right moments, Keith, to come off his line, it seems.
Yeah, I think he's been solid, and I think he is a bit of an unknown. I think against Washington, one of the goals that UConn let in may have been some hesitation from him coming out, so it's something that he still obviously needs to work on. It's the toughest thing for a goalkeeper, that decision, on when to come and when not to. But I would say in the first look at him right now, I think he's solid. I think Ray Reed can be very happy with him, and again, humongous shoes to fill with Andre Blake, being there before him.
Incredible turn from Laren. That shot all the way over the net.
I think that might have landed on Mount Rainier, actually, the way that he hit that one. He did not get a hold of that the way he wanted to, but that's somewhere back in the neighborhood.
Well, you love the fact that even though they're up 3-0 with under 20 minutes to go, he still wants to get in on the act.
Well, of course he does. A goal for anybody, but certainly a goal scorer. Hey, he wants to score a goal. He scored 4 in a row. He certainly wants one today as well. And I don't think nobody puts teams that are like UConn, that are perennial national contenders. They don't. Well, that may be a little bit hopeful there with a shot like that, but they don't take their foot off the gas pedal. They may play a little more deliberate at times, a little smarter. If they had a guy on a yellow card, they might end up taking him out or something, but they want to keep going with the score. Speaking of scores, there are a couple teams that are undefeated. 2 wins today, one by University of Delaware, Ian Hennessy's team, and Greg Androulis at George Mason, and they're 6-0 and 5-0 respectively. They're trying to knock their way into the top 10. Also from that area, in D.C. area, American University won their 4th in a row with a convincing 3-0 win of Milwaukee today.
Drame rose and trying to play it into the path. And the shot from Drame deflected. And it's easy pickings in the end for Wagmeister. UConn's done so well to get something on those shots, flinging their bodies at the ball with reckless abandon.
Yeah, they've done well there. Like I said, most of the shots in the first half for Seattle were second-range shots, and well, obviously you can score in them, and you need to take them if they're giving it to you. They weren't as dangerous as some of the ones that we've seen in this half for Seattle. Or Seattle getting closer, and a little better chances. But certainly they had 2 fantastic chances in the first 10 minutes of the half, and had they been able to capitalize on one of them, we might have a little different feeling going into this final 17 and a half minutes of the game.
And perhaps a chance from this free kick for Seattle to get themselves back into it. Come back 5 times last year trailing and went into overtime 8 times as well. So this is a side that obviously never gives up. Six players lined up across the top of the box. The flick-on's there. And Heinz Eich was able to win that. Mao took the shot. It was blocked. And Andrade the third will get it back to his keeper.
Nathaniel Hayworth with a misplayed ball over forced Bionathon to have to clear that ball out instead of just keep possession.
Smart header from Andrade. And Haddadi trying to poke that one over to Drame. And he wins the free kick.
Well, Bjornathon to send this in again, and they're getting the big guys up there, but also UConn's dropped so many players. It's not always the worst idea to keep possession of this. Just play it wide to the left as you see those players open for them. But
this one played toward the back corner of the 6. Wagmeister came out, and he missed it. But UConn with the clearance.
Well, yeah, Wagmeister. Sorry, Mark Wagmeister. Didn't get to it, and he actually would have got caught there had his defender not been able to clear that out. I think that was Campbell, I believe, that headed that ball out. But Wagmeister, there was the example. Just as we said, he'd done well on the crosses. That was, probably not a good decision that time.
Drame looking to run on the far side. In for the target man, Haddadi. Little touch on from Andrade. Rolled on. Heinz Eich.
So UConn's happy to sit back in here. This is where they've got to be good in this 18 and a good recovery there. Nobody really joining that pass into Haddadi. And really for Seattle, you got to. It's one thing you don't want to open things up in the back, but when you're in the attack right now, you've got to commit players in there. That ball goes into Haddadi. He's very good at holding the ball up and bringing people into the play. So those players from behind have to get in. You have number 21, Nick Prasad in. At the wide play for Seattle right now. He needs to get involved. He's a bit fresher.
Prasad out of the Vancouver Whitecaps youth system. Sadati looking to lay the ball off. Rolled on. Rose. That should be a handball. The referee was behind the play.
Referee was behind the play. Assistant referee should have seen it. It was lifted into the guy's arm. And
speaking of lifted in, Laren is on here. Laren looking for his 5th of the season. Can't find the far post.
I tell you, he should have put that away. I mean, he got the ball. He might have been. It was a slightly off balance, kind of running away to put it with his right foot, but he had a lot of net to aim at there. And again, this is the thing as Seattle pushes forward. The thing about it is, as Seattle pushes forward, they've got enough players back to defend Laren, but Laren's just getting in these good spots, and I think they have to do a little bit better. Mao and Bjornathon in getting themselves in good body position so that Laren can't get through facing forward.
Prasad. Mao. Nice little flick on out wide. And this is Ballou. Ballou in full flight. And another deflection to take the sting out of the cross, making it easy for Wegmeister once again.
And I think he mishit that cross as well. Is also going off balance, and going into then the cross gets into the UConn defender. And Ballou's a very talented player. He's really good at going at defenders and needs a final product on that one.
Heinz Eich gets it off to Drame. The freshman has it taken away from him. Cleared only as far as Bjornathan. Heinz Eich. Ballou teasing it into the mix. Rose just missed it. DeGrassa. Aua. Coley. Lovely one-touch passing from UConn.
Well, this is all they need to do right now. They keep a sense of urgency while they do it. They don't give away anything, but as long as Seattle has to chase you there, you're going to be able to find players, and here's what they've done. Really good composure by UConn working that ball out.
And as Seattle continues to go forward, the space really opening up for UConn. Now they get players behind the ball. Besso at walking pace. Goes for the long strike, and it's bobbled. Laren on the rebound. He could really have 2 or 3 goals, Laren, in this game.
Yeah, I think the word is should have, actually. He could have, but he really should have had a couple goals. His last 2 shots there, that one, again, both of them he's going a little bit off balance, but not that much that he shouldn't get that on target. And it was really, 2 shots that both of them, didn't even force a save and off target. And, of course, poor handling by Hayworth on that shot there to set that up.
And Hayworth kind of in the same position as Wagmeister, because Jake Feener last year led the country in saves and saves per game. And so Hayworth obviously playing every game so far this season, but he hadn't played since 2012 until then. So Pete Fewing just happy that he's getting these minutes right now as he becomes sharper and sharper.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's hoping that, he can really develop into a solid keeper and take over for Feeney. A game like today, can kind of hurt your confidence a little bit. And, of course, he's didn't handle that last shot very well either. But, he looked good Friday night against UPenn, solid as can be.
Prasad, great ball in, and Haddadi gets his first goal of the year. And the comeback might be on, under 11 minutes to go.
Well, the one thing is, again, it came out of not a feeling like anything was going to happen there, and all of a sudden that cross in, really good cross by Prasad, and Haddadi getting that goal in. That's one of the things that Coach Pete Fewing really needs out of him. He can't be just a target man. He's got to be able to put the ball in. He had that chance early. Let's have another look at this. And what a really nice ball. I mean, this is curled in. You saw Wagmeister thinking, should I come or shouldn't I? And, again, I think that's his biggest challenge is see what UConn does here. Sorry, Mark.
And the flag stays down at the other end.
But the biggest challenge for Wagmeister is still that decision on coming out. He took that step and held, and whether he could have got to that ball or not, I don't know, but you can't be in that middle. But a fantastic header by Haddadi bring this game to a 2-goal game right now. Whether there's enough time, you never know. 10 minutes left, and boy, this would be exciting if Seattle can get another one quickly here.
Well, the Red Hawks finally have liftoff. And if they can claw back another goal, it would make for a very nervous finale for UConn. As both of these teams have to be on tired legs after playing on Friday night. And you get the feeling that if UConn is going to get the goal to kill the game, it's going to come off a counterattack as Seattle will push forward.
Well, it certainly will. You have Matheson up top right now for Laren, and they're looking to try to get it over top to Matheson. And, again, a fresh player who I think is a very, very talented player.
Blue waits for the overlap, and the cross deep over everybody to the far post and headed away by Nerwinski. Keith, still time for somebody to make their mark on this match, but so far would you say that Nerwinski's been the MVP of this game?
Well, I think he's been the best player for sure. He's been dangerous, scored the goal, got the cross in that led to the first goal as well, and we see Seattle with this long throw in, and Haddadi and Campbell both knocked heads, and referee rightly so, stopping right away. Haddadi was backing in, and Campbell coming forward. As Haddadi's trying to head that ball backwards, Campbell coming forward, and it was front of Campbell's head to the back of Haddadi. Haddadi's up right now. Campbell's still down.
And Sergio Campbell, full Jamaican international.
And Seattle just come back with this goal to make it 3-1. Another look, Prasad with this fantastic ball. And again, you look at Wagmeister just hesitating. Haddadi coming in there. And by the way, he's coming in there, and you could see the UConn thing, hey, you had him. No, you had him sort of thing. And they weren't focused on the inside the box on the marking because, he really ran in, just really unopposed for that header.
And, of course, that perfect ball, which makes the goalkeeper have to decide whether or not to come off his line. And in that case, Wagmeister kind of came out into no man's land and got caught.
He did. It was just that hesitation step. I mean, it wasn't all. It was at the 7-yard where it was hit. So Wagmeister didn't have a lot of yardage to have to go to. But you always say if you're going to go. Otherwise, hold and try to make the save. But once you get in that unbalanced position, and it's hard. Now here's where they hit heads. It's a long throw, and you see Campbell coming right in, hitting the back of Haddadi, and both of them going right to their faces. And hopefully that they're all right. Haddadi stayed in. Campbell has gone out.
I think Campbell's stepping out, if not because he's fully hurt, just because he needed treatment, so he has to come out. Maybe he'll wait for the referee to bring him back on. But right now, the UConn doctor's doing the right thing and making sure that he's okay before they let him decide whether to continue to play or not.
Yeah.
Sergio Campbell was all AAC first team last year, leading the team in minutes. As Istvan Canio comes on for his second appearance of the season for the Huskies.
And we'll see what happens. If Campbell was hit hard there, I doubt very much that they'll end up bringing him back in, but they certainly can if they decide they want to. I think if this game was still 3-0, there'd be no question they'd just keep him out, and they won't put him back in if there was anything close to being serious with the head there.
Prasad with his first assist of the season. Seattle still trailing 3-1 to the UConn Huskies, however, with just over 8.5 minutes to go. Ballou. That one over the head of Drama, taken out wide. Drame puts it back in. Well stationed was the UConn defense. Red Hawks getting set to make another substitution. Mavi checks in for Drame. Long throw into the box.
Another corner kick. I think right now Seattle might be leading the country in corner kicks after today's game. There's so many of them. Without capitalizing, though. They've mixed it up a little bit, but have another in-swinger.
Well, if they could get on the board here, we would be in for a great finale. As the ball bouncing around in the box, UConn get to it first. Only as far as rolled on. Heinz Ike to put it back in. Repelled once again. DeGrasse with his pace once again. He's beaten Bjornathun. To the byline, DeGrasse puts it back across. UConn have had chance after chance to kill this game off. However, unable to finish was Matheson on that occasion.
Yeah, no, and I have another look at this, and it was a really good run by DeGrasse, turning the corner there, and right-footed player playing on the left side. You see him just slipping it back there. And, Matheson kind of held up just a bit, a very good defensive play, and getting in on it, so it goes out for the goal kick.
Missed opportunities like that means there's still hope for the Red Hawks. A throw in for the home side. Well, they want the long throw. Now more players make their way in the box. UConn are bosses in their own area. Flag stays down. Trajectory on the cross needed to be better. Prasad. Little touch off from Andrade. Heinz Ike. Clipping it toward the back post. Too far in the end. It'll be a goal kick as more time bleeds off this clock.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mario. Yeah, it'd be unlikely for there to be enough time. You never know, 5.5 minutes left. But here's the one thing that gives some hope is that there's been just a ton of shots in this game. 19 for UConn, 17 for Seattle. And what this actually does say, both of these teams are going to have to solidify their defending a lot more because while UConn's let in the 1 goal. It's 9 goals on the year for them. Again, it's an unusual stat just this early into the season. And while they can score goals with the powerful attacking players they have, they will not make a long run, without getting that defending sorted out. That's for sure.
And Mavi really gave Greenberg a free pass there as he was dribbling himself into trouble, and there was no reason to clip him.
Yeah, exactly. I was just too anxious to try to get the ball back, and what happens when you're chasing the game.
Aykroyd floats it in. DeGrasse misses. DeGrasse once again. Matheson turns, fires! Right into the gut of Hayworth.
And Matheson he should have done better there. And that time, he shouldn't have been off balance. He off-balanced himself by leaning away from the shot when he did it, trying to place it to the far corner.
Nifty move from Ballou. Still going Ballou. Matheson working 1-on-3. Tried to go forward, Matheson. Would you like to have seen him hold up and wait for more blue jerseys to join him for company?
Well, I think certainly right now. I mean, really, UConn, even the free kick they had before, instead of playing it up direct, they should just keep the ball. They're in control right now, and every time they give it away, you see they got to sit back in here, and anything can happen as that ball goes in.
Mao pushes it forward. Andrade, little flick on for Ballou. And he has the ball poked away from him by DeGrasse. Zuniga. Acres of space down that right-hand side. Good cross in. Well dealt with by the Seattle defense.
It was a good cross and right into Matheson, although he was there alone with 3 defenders around him.
Nice turn from Matheson.
By him turning on that, trying to go 1-on-2, I guess he's very comfortable having all those defenders around him anyways.
And now just into the corner. Just over 3 minutes remaining from Championship Field. Mark Serber alongside Keith DeBasnik on the NSCAA TV Game of the Week, taking you the rest of the way as Seattle still looking to make a game of it. 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining, and they have a free kick. And Mao wants Besso to get out of the way. Needs a flick on from Haddadi. He got the job done, just wrong direction. Oua. Skips past 2. Matheson. Besso. Zuniga elects to go back with it. Besso tried to give it back to Zuniga. Well read by Green on the far side. And that ball smartly picked off on the chest. Hit only as far as Heinz Ike. Now it's Seattle's turn to chisel their way down the far side. Mao opening up on the near eye. And he's looking to put this one into the melting pot. Really misplayed that. Still going though, Mao, not allowing DeGrasse to clear. And a foul is going to be called against Mavi. It'll just be a throw-in, rather.
Mavi, one of a few players that Coach Schuing has put into the game during this half to try to get some energy into it, trying to get himself forward. He's been up and down the right side, plus up in the center part as well. Minute left in the game, just over a minute. Looks like UConn will walk out of the West Coast trip with 1 loss and 1 win. And we'll see if this can get them going. A really tough start to the season, but tough teams that they've played as well. They're going to need to solidify their defending and I think get back to the great possession team that we usually know them as.
Ballou couldn't get there in time. As next up for UConn will be at home to Iona. And then they start conference play on September 27th at home versus University of Southern Florida. As Andrade flights this one in. And that's not a bad ball. And it falls kindly for Blue. Couldn't keep his effort down. 20 seconds left. As next up for the Seattle Redhawks is at St. Mary's on Friday. And they don't start Western Athletic Conference play until October 4th at Utah Valley. They've had their chances, but were unable to take them. UConn, absolutely ruthless in the box. And they are going to run out of Seattle. 3-1 winners.
Yeah, congratulations to Ray Reed and the UConn Huskies. They did what they needed to do in the 18, and they held off defensively. As they were going down, against the Seattle team that was putting a fair bit of pressure on them. Again, this game was far closer than the score is, but at the same time, it's 3-1, and UConn with the win, and see if that spurs them off. They go into the conference play in the American Athletic Conference with some tough teams like South Florida and Tulsa, and we'll see if they can repeat as champions.
What does Seattle need to do better once they face St. Mary's next week?
Well, I think with Seattle, they got to get over the fact that they gave up 3 goals, and they have, their number one thing is defending in and around the box. If they had defended better in and around the box, and I think other things would have happened offensively. I think it's as simple as that. I would also say I would try to figure out a way of getting some chances off corner kicks, since they now lead the country in corners taken.
Well, Seattle falls to 3-2 on the season, while UConn improves to 2-3. And for Ray Reed, win number 396, just 4 more to get to 400, and his 250th win with the UConn Huskies.
So we'll see the Seattle players thanking their fans. A perfect day here at Championship Field. Everything perfect for Seattle except for the result, of course. And they will bounce back. Coach Pete Fewing doing a fantastic job with them in his 21st year, and we know we'll be hearing good stuff about them in the WAC conference.
And we have Ray Reed with us now. And Ray, first of all, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
It's going to be a much happier flight home, like you said before the game. If we can get these 3 points, then we will have a much easier time going back to the East Coast.
Yeah, you know what? We came 3,000 miles. I thought first half we were good against Washington. We got a little tired. They're a very good team. And, we've come through the first 5 games, 4 road games, with a pretty good record with the competition we faced. So the trip was a success. I thought we did a very good job managing the game in the heat today. We're not built to play 2 games in 3 days, so I thought our kids did a good job.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ray, I agree with that. Just looking ahead to the rest of the season, and obviously, you guys want to be in the NCAA tournament, you want to make a good run in it. What do you think is the biggest area that you need to get better on?
Yeah, both sides of the ball, Keith. We got to do better attacking. We had 8 goals today, right?
Yeah.
And we got to do better defensively. But we're a work in progress. We have a couple guys injured, and we're making improvement. I thought this Seattle team's a good team, and I thought we did a good job tonight.
It seemed like you guys won the battle in the box at both ends. Is this where the game was won and lost today?
No, I think we were clinical on our finish early, dangerous on our counters, and our defense was good today. So now I just think the kids had a good mentality today. Hey, we've been gone since Wednesday. It's a long time. We took a chance, to get away for a while, and it worked out well. I give our guys a lot of credit.
Well, congratulations on the victory, Ray, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to Ray Reed on victory 396, as UConn are looking to get back to the NCAA tournament for the 18th consecutive year and the 35th time overall. And if they put in performances like that, they should be able to do that. A reminder, the 2015 NSCAA convention will be held in Philadelphia January 14th through the 18th, 2015. And of course, go to nscaa.com/convention. And then once you're there, go to Gino's where you can meet Keith Tabasnik.
There you go. Everyone be at the convention, but everybody join us again for our fantastic slate of games on nscaatv.com. Tuesday night will be in Williamsburg. William & Mary hosting University of North Carolina.
Well, it was a good performance from Seattle University, but the scoreboard tells a different story as the UConn Huskies will run out of Championship Stadium 3-1 victors. For our producer, Taylor Hogard, and for Keith Tabasnik, I'm Mark Serber saying good afternoon from Championship Field, where the home side falls 3-1 to UConn.